Hello everyone. Today, I will dive into and narrate the deeply emotional love story of Jack and TL TIEN, continuing with the dramatic events following the flood. Please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to support me. It gives me the motivation to create more amazing videos. Wishing you all a joyful viewing experience. Let's dive into today's story. The gentle morning sunlight filtered through the lingering clouds after the storm, casting a warm glow over Jack's well-kept house in the city. TL TIEN's farm, where she had poured her heart into growing vegetables and medicinal herbs, now lay in ruins. Broken wooden fences, mud-soaked garden beds, and a damaged roof letting in faint rays of light. TL TIEN sat in Jack's living room, her hands nervously clasped, her eyes tinged with sadness but still radiating quiet strength. The storm had swept away her dreams, but the presence of Jack and his mother, Mrs. Loy, felt like a warm embrace, soothing her heart. Jack sat on the sofa next to Mrs. Loy in the cozy living room, where a wooden table held a teapot and a tray pink with cookies. Sunlight streamed through the window, highlighting his gentle smile. "Mom, I have to head to the construction site this afternoon. Tien's village was hit hard, and the roads are badly damaged. I want to help. The locals fix them," he said, his voice warm and full of responsibility. Mrs. Loy nodded, her eyes beaming with pride. "My son always thinks of others. Go, but be careful. I'll take care of Tien." Jack smiled, glancing at TL TIEN, who sat quietly across from them. "Tien, stay here with my mom. Okay, I'll be back soon." TL TIEN nodded, her voice soft. "Be careful, Jack. I thank you so much." Mrs. Loy turned to TL TIEN, her tone gentle. "Tien, are you feeling better? Last night's storm was intense. You must have been scared, right?" TL TIEN smiled, trying to hide her sorrow about the farm. "I'm okay, Mom. Thanks to Jack bringing me here, I feel much better. It's just, I'm heartbroken about the farm. Everything's ruined now." Mrs. Loy took her hand, her eyes full of maternal warmth. "Sweet girl, don't worry too much. You have Jack, the villagers, and me. Things will get better." Jack nodded, adding, "Tien, I'll call Hai and some others. This afternoon, we'll start the cooking. You're fine. Just rest easy, okay?" TL TIEN looked at him, her heart swelling with gratitude. Jack, with his kindness and sincerity, was her steadfast anchor. She smiled, her eyes glistening. "Thank you, Jack. You're too good to me." The three sat around the table, chatting warmly. The living room glowed with sunlight pouring through the window, the tray of cookies, and cups of tea creating a familial atmosphere. Jack shared his plans for the village road, his voice brimming with enthusiasm. The main road was washed out in several places. "I want to rebuild it solidly so the villagers can travel safely." Mrs. Loy nodded approvingly, looking at TL TIEN. "See, Jack always looks out for everyone. Don't worry, he'll take care of your farm." TL TIEN blushed, nodding, "Yes, I trust Jack." Jack laughed, his eyes soft. "Tien, as long as you smile, anything I do is worth it." Jack stood, preparing to leave. He looked at TL TIEN, his eyes full of love. "Tien, I'm heading out. If you need anything, call me or tell Mom. Don't worry, I'll handle everything." TL TIEN held his hand, whispering, "Be careful, Jack. I'll wait for you." Mrs. Loy saw her son to the door, advising Jack, "Do good work, but don't overexert yourself. Your TNs rock." Jack grinned, nodded, and hopped on his motorcycle. His figure faded down the city road, his shirt fluttering in the breeze, his eyes resolute as if carrying a mission. After Jack left, Mrs. Loy pulled TL TIEN to sit back down, handing her a cup of hot tea. "Tien, tell me about your farm." Jack said, "You're so hardworking, growing vegetables and medicinal herbs." TL TIEN smiled, recounting the days she tended the farm and her dream of supplying herbs to the villagers. but her voice faltered when she mentioned the storm. Ma'am, everything's ruined now. I'm afraid I can't rebuild. Mrs. Loy stroked her hair, her voice warm. Tien, I lost my home to a flood once, but as long as you have determination, you can rebuild anything. You have Jack, the villagers, and me. Don't be afraid. Dear. Her words were like a warm breeze, easing Tu Tien's fears. Tu Tien looked at Mrs. Loy, feeling a motherly love she hadn't known since her father disappeared. Tu Tien took a deep breath, her eyes sparking with resolve. Mrs. Loy, thank you so much, but I want to go back to the farm this afternoon to clean up and start over. I don't want Jack to do everything. Mrs. Loy looked at her eyes a mix of surprise and pride. You're a strong girl, aren't you? All right, I agree. But promise me you'll take care of your health and not overdo it. Du din not that smiling zets eat for me. Mrs. Loy packed her a bag of food, hot chicken porridge and cookies for the farm. When you get there, eat properly. I'll tell Jack to take you this afternoon. The roads are slippery. Du din he let her be a wildly move. Thank you, ma'am. I'm so lucky to have you and Jack. Mrs. Loy smiled, patting her gently. Silly girl, we're the lucky ones to have you. That afternoon, Tu Tien returned to the farm, her heart brimming with determination. Though the scene remained chaotic mud covering the yard, ruined vegetable beds, she was no longer despairing. Standing before the farm, she whispered, I'll rebuild for Jack, for Mrs. Loy, and for myself. Under the sunset's glow, Tu Tien's small but resilient figure shone like a beacon, a light of hope amidst hardship. The fiery red sunset bathed the treacherous dirt road leading to Tu Tien's farm like a comforting embrace after days of storms and floods. Tu Tien stepped off Jack's motorcycle, her eyes shining with determination despite the heaviness in her heart. The farm, where she had poured her heart into growing vegetables and medicinal herbs, now lay in ruins. Broken wooden fences, mud-soaked, garden beds, and a roof patched haphazardly with old planks. Yet, she no longer felt the despair she once did. The warm encouragement from Mrs. Loy, Jack's mother, and Jack's unwavering support had ignited a flame of hope within her. Standing at the gate, she took a deep breath and whispered, I'll rebuild everything for myself, for Jack, and for the villagers. As she stepped into the yard, a joyful bark interrupted her thoughts. Vang, her loyal dog, bounded toward her, tail wagging furiously as if dancing with excitement. Following Vang were two cats, sleek black Den and pristine white Trang, mewing and rubbing against her legs, their eyes seeming to express longing. Tu Tien knelt down, her hands gently stroking Vang's soft fur, then pulling Den and Trang into her arms. Vang, Den, Chang, Ia o no kai. I missed you so much, she said, her voice brimming with love, tears glistening in her eyes. Vang nuzzled her hand, while the cats snuggled closer, as if returning her affection. Tu Tien took the food bag Mrs. Loy had prepared, carefully portioning out food into bowls. Vang ate eagerly, tail still wagging, while Den and Trang lapped delicately, their eyes gazing at her with gratitude. She petted them, smiling warmly. You guys are my motivation. Let's rebuild the farm together. The scene, bathed in the sunset's glow, was like a painting of love, fueling Tu Tien's strength. After a few warm moments with Vang, Den, and Trang, Tu Tien began cleaning the farm. She grabbed a broom, sweeping away the mud covering the yard, each stroke a testament to her resolve. Sweat dripped down her brow, but she smiled, feeling the strength from Jack's love and the villagers' support. She moved to the garden, watering the surviving flowers, small daisies, standing resiliently amid the mud. The cool water flowed over their petals, breathing life into the garden and into her. Tu Tien looked at them, whispering, You're so strong. I'll be like you, never giving up. She watered slowly, each droplet sparkling in the sunset like precious gems of hope. But as night fell, Tu Tien sat on the porch steps, her gaze pensive. She began thinking about the cost of rebuilding the farm, re-roofing the house, buying new seeds, reconstructing the fences, all far from cheap. Her vegetables and herbs, her main source of income, were completely destroyed. She hugged her knees, her heart heavy. I can't let Jack bear everything. I have to do something myself. She sat in thought for a moment. Then her eyes lit up with an idea. That's it. I could buy pumpkins from another farm and sell them at the market. With some money, I'll buy seeds and start over. Decision made. Lytutien stood, wiping her sweat, her heart brimming with determination. She looked at the empty garden beds, whispering, "Wait for me, I'll make you green again." The next morning, Lytutien visited Uncle Hong's farm, a kind, generous farmer from the neighboring village, known for his lush pumpkin patches. Uncle Hong greeted her with a warm smile. "Lytutien, I heard your farm took a heavy hit. Need any help?" Lytutien smiled, shaking her head. "Thank you, Uncle, but I'd like to buy some pumpkins to sell at the market to earn money for repairs." Uncle Hong nodded, leading her to his pumpkin patch. Round, glossy green pumpkins nestled among broad leaves. Lytutien selected the best ones, picking each with care, as if every pumpkin were a spark of hope. "Your pumpkins are amazing, they'll definitely sell," she said, her eyes shining. "Unso hong lauget. Take them, I'll give you a good price. Keep going strong, girl." Lytutien get him. Her heart warmed by his generosity. She loaded the pumpkins into a sack, hoisted it on her back, and walked to the village market. The dirt road was still rough, bearing traces of the flood, but Lytutien's steps were steady. At the market, the air buzzed with lively chatter. Vendors greeted her warmly. "Lytutien, it's been ages. That storm was rough. Are you okay?" Lytutien smai, Zeppling, Amphai, Tangju. "I'm selling pumpkins today. Please support me." Everyone laughed and nodded. She arranged the pumpkins neatly on a small mat, her eyes brightening as the first customers approached. And Annie picked 2 pumpkins, smiling. "These look great, I'll make soup." "Keep it up. The whole village is rooting for you." Lytutien thanked her, her heart swelling with gratitude for the villagers' kindness. An elderly woman chose a large pumpkin, saying, "I saw Jack fixing the village road today. He's so hardworking. You're lucky to have him." Lytutien blushed, smiling shyly. "Yes, I know. Jack's amazing." Meanwhile, on the other side of the village, Jack was at the road repair site. The roar of excavators and concrete mixers filled the air, dust swirling, but Jack stood out with his radiant smile. As a construction engineer, he stood among the villagers, his shirt rolled up, directing everyone with clear, passionate instructions. "Let's build the foundation first, then pour the concrete. Follow the process so the road lasts, keeping everyone safe." He checked every detail, from drainage depth to concrete quality, his sharp eyes softened by his kind smile. The villagers, from elders to youths, admired Jack. A young man teased, "Jack, making the road this nice to visit 10 easier, huh?" Jack laughed, nodding, "Sure, but mainly so the whole village can travel smoothly." Jack didn't just let he joined in, carrying buckets, hauling rocks, helping an elderly man shovel dirt, and cracking jokes too. "Keep spirits high. Keep it up. Everyone, I'm treating you to milk tea tonight," he said, making the group burst into laughter. Uncle Hoa, the village chief, patted Jack's shoulder. "You're a blessing, Jack. This village is lucky to have you." Jack scratched his head, smiling humbly. "Don't say that, Uncle. I just want to help the villagers and Tien." Despite being drenched in sweat, Jack kept encouraging everyone, his warmth and sincerity making him approachable. A young village girl whispered to her friend, "Jack's so kind, Tien's so lucky." Jack overheard, chuckling, his eyes softening as he thought of Lytutien. As the sunset descended, the village road began, taking shape, sturdy and promising. Jack looked at it, pride in his eyes. He thought of Lytutien, murmuring to himself, "Tien, what are you doing? I'll be back with you soon." He wiped his sweat, texting her, "Tien, we've fixed a section of the road. How are you doing? I miss you. At the market, Lytutien had sold nearly all her pumpkins. She counted the money, smiling brightly. Enough to buy some new seeds. Seeing Jack's text, she laughed, her heart warming. She replied, "Jack, I'm good, sold lots of pumpkins. Thank you for everything." She thanked the villagers, packed up, and headed back to the farm, her heart full of hope. Though the flood had taken much, Jack's love, the villagers' support, and her own resolve were new seeds, ready to sprout on this challenging land. The fading afternoon sun cast a pale golden glow over Lytutien's ravaged farm, where traces of the storm and flood lingered. Broken wooden fences, mud-soaked garden beds, and a roof patched haphazardly with old planks. Jack arrived on his motorcycle, accompanied by Nam, a construction contractor, and Tung, a skilled repairman. With his generous heart and inherent kindness, Jack had reached out to his contacts to help Lytutien restore her farm. He stepped off the bike, his eyes scanning the yard but finding no sign of Lytutien. "Where's Tien?" he whispered, a flicker of worry crossing his face. He turned to the two workers, smiling. "Nam, Tung, let me show you around the farm first to see what needs urgent repairs." Jack led the two men through the farm. They walked across the muddy yard to the once lush garden, now reduced to a few struggling medicinal herbs. This garden was Tien's heart and soul, but the storm swept most of it away, Jack said, his voice tinged with sadness. Nam nodded, jotting down notes. "The garden needs cleaning and new irrigation pipes. The fences need rebuilding too." They moved to the back of the farm, where a small stream had swollen, carrying debris and rocks from the flood. Jack pointed. "The stream's banks eroded during the flood. We need to reinforce them to prevent overflow into the yard." Tung nodded. "Got it. We'll build drainage and stone reinforcements. The roof needs retiling too, or the next rain will ruin everything." Jack nodded, his eyes resolute. "Thank you both. I want the farm to be as beautiful as before, for Tien's happiness." Meanwhile, Lytutien was returning from the village market, a basket in hand after selling all her pumpkins. Her steps were lighter, her heart warmed by the villagers' support. On the red dirt road, she heard laughter echoing from a small stream by the village. Looking down, she saw children splashing in the water, their clothes soaked. "Tien pauset, concern." The evening air was chilly, and the kids, thinly dressed, could catch a cold. She approached, her voice gentle but firm. "Kids, it's getting cold. Come out and go home to shower with warm water and put on warm clothes, or you'll get sick." The children climbed out, giggling broadly. "Yes, Sister Tien." Soaked, but cheerful, they thanked her and scampered off. Lytutien smiled, adding, "Hurry home so your moms don't worry." Watching them run back to the village, she continued on, her heart lighter. When Lytutien reached the farm, she found Jack in the yard, talking with two strangers. She approached, surprised. "Jack, you're here? Who are—" Jack grinned, pulling her close. "Tien, this is Nam and Tung. They're here to help fix the farm. I've shown them around, but I want your input." Lytutien was touched, her eyes misty. "Fix the farm? Jack, how did you?" Jack ruffled her hair, his voice warm. "Don't worry, I've got it covered. Just tell us what needs fixing." Nam stepped forward, asking, "Lytutien, what's the priority? The roof, the fences, or the garden?" Lytutien thought for a moment, replying, "The roof first, please, since rain will cause flooding. Then the fences and garden." Tung nodded. "Got it. We'll come back tomorrow with materials and start." The two workers left, leaving Jack and Lytutien alone in the yard. Under the sunset's glow, it was just the two of them. Lytutien looked at Jack, her heart swirling with emotions, gratitude, love, but also worry. She sat on the porch steps, her voice soft. "Jack, fixing the farm will cost so much. I don't have much money, just what I earned from selling pumpkins. I'm afraid I can't pay for it." Jack sat beside her, his gaze gentle. Sensing her anxiety, his heart ached. Not wanting her to feel burdened, he smiled and fibbed. "Tien, don't worry. Nam and Tongue are my friends, they're charging a low price. I can handle this, so you don't need to think about it. Lytutien looked up, her eyes teary. Jack, really? But I don't want you to take on everything. You've already done so much for me. Jack took her hand, squeezing it gently, his voice warm. Tien, I do all this for you. As long as you're happy, safe, and by my side. That's enough. Money doesn't matter. What matters is us facing challenges together. Lytutien gazed at him, tears streaming down her face. Jack's words were like a warm breeze, dispelling her fears. She leaned her head on his shoulder, whispering, Jack, thank you. I'm so lucky to have you. Jack hugged her close, his eyes softening under the rising moonlight. Tien, I'm the lucky one. You're my light. Under the night sky, their hearts beat as one, a promise to stay together through any storm. This chapter truly moved me. Lytutien is not only resilient, but also full of compassion, from caring for the kids bathing in the stream to her efforts to rebuild the farm. And Jack, oh, what a perfect man. His kindness, thoughtfulness, and big heart in supporting Lytutien and the village are beyond admirable. The moment he fibbed to ease Lytutien's worries, paired with his sweet reassurances, was such an emotional highlight. Their love, overcoming hardships, proves that true happiness lies in sharing. What do you think of Jack and Lytutien's bond? If you were Lytutien, how would you repay Jack's kindness? Share your thoughts in the comments for Mega Audio TV. Don't forget to subscribe to catch the next part.